What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 11 of my 365-day graphic novel review challenge. For the last few days, I've been talking about books written by John Ostrander. Today is the last day that I will be talking about something by John Ostrander. I don't have anything else by him. And today I will be talking about Star Wars, Agent of the Empire, Iron Eclipse. This is a 5-issue miniseries from Dark Horse before Disney acquired Star Wars and declared that all of the expanded universe stuff over the past 20 years is no longer canonical. And this is drawn by two guys named Stefan Rowe and Stefan Creddy. And I've never heard of either of those gentlemen, but their art is very good. At times, they're able to make these characters seem like real people, but they're also not constricted in making them look too realistic. Sometimes you will have an artist who is trying to draw somebody who is a real person in real life, and the drawing looks too stiff because they're trying too hard to make it look realistic, and it doesn't look as free and doesn't have as much momentum as it should because they're trying too hard to make the drawings look realistic. And I think these guys are able to maneuver that very well. They're able to make these drawings look very lifelike, but at the same time not being constricted too much in making these characters look like real people, if that makes any sense. Specifically, that's a problem whenever you have characters who have shown up in the movies, like Han Solo. He shows up briefly in this book, and that's probably my one complaint about this book. Whenever I'm reading something in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, which I don't very often, but when I do, I don't need to see Luke Skywalker or Han Solo show up. You can tell me that this is a Star Wars story, and I'll believe you. You don't have to have one of the 6 main characters from the movies show up in that story. Star Wars is a huge universe. There's plenty of characters that you can play around with. You don't have to throw Han Solo and Chewbacca into this story. It didn't ruin the story for me, but I also don't think that these two really added anything either. But basically, this story, Jahan Cross is an agent of the Empire, and at the very beginning of the book, it says you've got 3 different situations where the Empire might need someone to do something. You've got Darth Vader, whose very presence will quell someone into doing something for the Emperor or the Empire, and then you've got the Stormtroopers, who are the hammer of the Empire, and they are used whenever excessive force is maybe needed. And then Jahan Cross is a finer tool, and he is used sometimes when the Empire doesn't actually need their presence to be known. And he is basically James Bond in the Star Wars universe. And I've heard other people talk about this book and mention that comparison also. It's not subtle about it, but if you like James Bond and you like Star Wars, you will definitely like this book. The big difference between this and just about any James Bond story is that James Bond, for the most part, works for the good guys. The British government, his superiors, they are the good people. They're not secretly bad guys that he's working for and he doesn't realize that they're bad. They are the good guys. Now, once in a blue moon, he might become a rogue agent and he has to operate outside of the law, and he doesn't have the entire government at his back helping him out. But for the most part, James Bond and his superiors are all on the same page. That's not the case here with Agent of the Empire, because the Empire are the bad guys in the Star Wars universe. And I really like that Ostrander had the guts to go ahead and do a story about somebody who is not part of the rebellion and is actually working for the Empire. Furthermore, Jahan Cross is not a bad guy. He works for the Empire, but he has a moral code. And he is basically a good person, even though his boss is the Emperor and the Empire. And I really like that he is able to make us like and care for Jahan Cross without making him too sympathetic, without making him lean too far towards the rebellion, which by this point is in full swing, without making him join the rebellion by the end of the book. He is still able to make Jahan Cross a likable character, and I really like that he's able to do that. I think he does a very good job doing that. So if you are interested in James Bond set in the Star Wars universe, I would recommend Star Wars Agent of the Empire, Iron Eclipse. There is a second volume, but I haven't read that one yet. I don't know if it's any good, but based on the strength of this volume, if you really like this, I would say just go ahead and check out Volume 2. It's probably going to be as good as this, but I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. But those are my thoughts on Star Wars Agent of the Empire, Iron Eclipse. I hope that you guys liked this video, and be sure to check me out tomorrow, where I'm going to be talking about something else Star Wars related. So you don't know what that's going to be. It could be anything, but check me out over the next few days, and I'll be doing some other videos. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.